Hi, my name is David Morris. This is my oral presentation for assignment 3 for exercise physiology 1. I've decided to do my project on how high intensity exercise and low intensity exercise acutely affect the improvements on cognitive function, memory and self-esteem or someone's mood. I got the idea for my project by reading a few articles through social media and online on how regular activity, even just 30 minutes a day, could improve all of these areas. Now, the results of the research on these papers that I was reading, it was clear that regular exercise continuously, and as I said, even just 30 minutes a day, definitely had positive impacts on all these areas. As I said, for my research, my aim was to find out whether high intensity or low intensity exercise had acute improvements on these areas, and also I wanted to find out which one had more positive benefits than the other. Now, how I went about my project was I went over to the University of South Australia at Mawson Lakes. I also went to a martial arts club that I'm affiliated with, and also had a few people that I train at my own studio to participate in this research project. I managed to get 5 people to do high intensity work, and I also managed to get 5 people to do low intensity work, and both groups did their sessions for 15 minutes. To analyse their cognitive function, their memory and how they felt about themselves and their mood, I wrote up a series of questionnaires, 3 in total for each area, and each one differed in their questions slightly, except for the self-evaluation, which focused on how they felt out of 10 on just looking at my work here, on their confidence, on their energy, on their concentration and on their mood. Now, the self-evaluation, that last one I just mentioned, that asked them how they felt on those 4 areas, is the only test that didn't change over each 3 stages. Now, the first stage was done pre-exercise to get a base reading on how they felt before they started exercising, and then the other 2 were done after exercise, one immediately after, and the other one I got them to do after they felt that they had recovered. I put no time limit on their recovery. I wanted to make sure before they did that last one that they didn't feel that they were still exhausted or fatigued after their workout. So I left it up to them to fill out that last one when they felt that they were recovered, and I wanted to see the results after they'd exercised, but they were feeling good again. They weren't fatigued once again by their exercise. I managed to get in all the groups, I managed to get people of various ages and different genders. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough people to specify on one area, so these are the results for males, these are the results for females. But I think for an initial project and an initial research, that a general picture of the results will be satisfactory. Now, as far as the results go, I've got them here up on my computer, and so I'm just going to be looking up at that to explain the results. For high intensity exercise, I saw large improvements in 2 areas, and these were cognitive function and confidence, where people reported that they had a lot more confidence after doing high intensity exercise, and they got more answers correct in their cognitive test than what they did before they started. For moderate improvements, we had concentration and their mood. We only saw small amounts of improvement. In fact, only 1 out of 5 people showed an improvement after high intensity exercise in the area of memory. And I'm not surprised by this one here, that no one really showed any improvement in energy levels after the high intensity exercise. Even though I gave them time to recover before they filled out that last form, I'm sure that they still felt fatigued and exhausted after their high intensity workout. So I'm not surprised that there's no recorded acute improvement here for energy levels. I would have liked to have seen a larger improvement in memory. In fact, I would have expected a larger improvement in memory, especially after they had their recovery stage. And it's especially even more confusing given that they showed a high improvement in cognitive function, yet they didn't show much of an improvement in their memory. For low intensity exercise, there were at least two more high improvements than there were in the high intensity, but there were also more negative negative effects for low intensity exercise as well. The high positive improvements were in cognitive function, in confidence, in energy levels, and in concentration. All these areas had at least 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 5 people stating that they had improvements in this area after doing low intensity exercise. There were no moderate or low improvements after low intensity exercise. There was a low negative impact on mood, where more people, so 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 5 people showed that they felt worse in their mood after doing low exercise than they did before they started, which I was quite surprised to find out. They hadn't been working out that hard, and the blood would be flowing more, they'd be getting more nutrients to the brain and the rest of the body. I would have expected them to have a better mood after exercise, but obviously, with 4 out of 5 people saying not, then, who am I to argue with this? A large negative impact that low intensity exercise had was on memory. At least 3 out of 5 to 4 out of 5 people showed that they had a decrease in memory performance after doing low intensity exercise. Once again, I was very surprised to see this, especially in the low intensity exercise, where these guys really weren't working that hard. They were just going at a 65% rate for 15 minutes non-stop. So I would have thought especially with the cognitive function improvements and the fact that they wouldn't have the fatigue that the guys doing high intensity workouts would have, that their memory would have improved. So I was very surprised to see that this was not the case. Now, as I stated in my aim, I wanted to outline which exercise might be better for all these areas. The conclusion is that there is no one intensity level that's going to be better for all these areas. As with everything else with exercise and in life, it appears that a balance of both is ideal for health. The areas that both of them impacted largely was in cognitive function and confidence. Both these areas were positively affected by both intensity levels. There you go. Thank you for listening. That is the conclusion to my oral presentation. And thank you.